Welcome to MojoPlays, and today we're taking a look at the 10 best boss fights in LEGO Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga. The latest LEGO Star Wars game takes us through the events of all 9 main movies in the series and lets us face off against many of the franchise's most iconic villains. Which of these boss battles was your favorite? Let us know down in the comments.
Before we begin, we publish new content all week long, so be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.
Darth Maul. Though it isn't the final level in the Phantom Menace episode, this fight with Darth Maul surpassed all expectations. Much like in the movie, the fight replicates the thrilling chase that ensues as Maul continuously retreats while throwing in some platforming challenges and hordes of droids into the mix. Of course, it wouldn't be a fantastic replication without that amazing score. Even if you didn't like the movie, you can't deny that this duel brought out the best in the Phantom Menace and served as an excellent introduction to the game's mechanics in boss fights. Captain Phasma. While there are 2 fights against Phasma, one being in The Last Jedi, the first one in The Force Awakens was far better. As Finn, Han, and Chewie, you'll blast through waves of First Order troopers until you manage to off 30 of them, eventually luring out the commander in Crumb herself. However, this battle doesn't want you fighting her head on. You'll need to build traps as she patrols the area, and it does make for some funny moments. Sure, the tension dissolves the more hectic energy of the opening segment, but for what it is, it's thoroughly entertaining with its setup and payoff.
What do we do with her?
Is there a garbage chute? Trash compactor?
Yeah, there is.
The Acklay, Nexu, and Reek. Of your entire playthrough across the 9 episodes in Skywalker Saga, this one might be the most cumbersome. We mean that in a good way though. In the second to last level in Attack of the Clones, you'll get to fight the 3 big beasts in the Geonosian arena: the Acklay, the Nexu, and the Reek. While they don't use as many moves as a regular boss, there are some moments where they might attack you at once or interfere with your attacks as they fight your other party members. It's also worth mentioning that these creatures look way better here and fit into the LEGO-styled world, whereas their appearance in LEGO Star Wars 3 made them look like they were pulled from a completely different game. Jabba the Hutt and Salacious Crumb.
R2, help me take down this slimy creep.
Admittedly, Boba Fett's boss encounter was a rather disappointing one, but the game makes up for that almost immediately afterwards. As Leia and R2-D2, you'll get to face off against the slug ball known as Jabba the Hutt and his creepy crawly crony Salacious Crumb. While Jabba himself doesn't do a heck of a lot to push you around, Crumb looks just as disgusting as he did in the movies. Really, the way he moves is just, yeah. He'll also lob items at you from afar. Between Max Rebo jamming out in the background and Jabba abusing Crumb and throwing him into walls, the boss fight was simple and easy, yet thoroughly entertaining. FN2199. For a character with such a minuscule role, it's a wonder how FN2199 managed to achieve meme status with just a single word: traitor! And yet it wouldn't feel right to leave him out of the Skywalker Saga. The game honored the short-lived villain by dedicating an entire boss fight to him. Granted, it wasn't as grandiose or long as the other bosses, but it certainly brought out the action and thrill of Finn and his former colleague fighting. On top of that, there's a brief nod to Indiana Jones at the end of the fight, which, as an Indiana Jones fan, I absolutely cherished that moment. We only wish it had lasted just a little bit longer. Count Dooku.
I've been looking forward to this.
For this entry, we're including both encounters with the Count. It's nearly impossible to pick one over the other, really. On one hand, you have an exciting duel with Dooku in the dark that comes with a few small puzzles thrown in to mix things up. On the other hand, you have something that packs in more action as Dooku sends droids after you in the middle of the battle. Both have their own sense of challenge and display unique presentations that make them both memorable. All of you might have your favorites, but for us, both Dooku encounters were immense fun. Darth Vader and Emperor Palpatine.
Let the hate flow through you.
Of the handful of times we've seen this moment from Return of the Jedi recreated in LEGO games in different forms, this may very well be the best rendition. For the first half, Luke must duel his father, and despite the heavy nature of the matter, there are some funny dialogue moments thrown in to lighten things up. But once Vader turns against his master, things escalate. You'll fend off Imperial guards who are tougher than the average enemy, and there are segments where you'll have to redirect Palpatine's attacks. After all is said and done, you'll get to rewatch Palpatine's downfall and relive the final touching moment between father and son. Simply put, Return of the Jedi's climax was done beautifully here. General Grievous. Though it isn't a one-to-one recreation of the fantastic fight from Revenge of the Sith, General Grievous was still an incredible boss fight. Many of Grievous's moves and animations were recreated here, making his attacks seem more vicious and even a bit unpredictable at times. It was also funny to see his reactions to losing a hand after each segment, making him almost come off like Monty Python's Black Knight. It's just one limb after the other. Our only complaint, however, is that there is no chase across Utapau. Come on, that would have been awesome to chase him down on that creature while he's riding on the single bike wheel, whatever it's called. Would have been so cool. At least the ending served as a hilarious transition into the most tragic event in the series.
Your move.
Palpatine, the Knights of Ren, and the Praetorian Guards.
I haven't come to lead the Sith. I've come to end them.
Yes, we know Rise of Skywalker wasn't exactly the best movie. Not by a long shot, but Skywalker Saga certainly makes it more exciting here, especially in the final level. As Rey and the newly reformed Ben Solo, you'll take on not just the resurrected Emperor Palpatine, but the Knights of Ren and the remaining Praetorian Guards too. No, it's not a difficult fight exactly, but the overall spectacle and tension make it such a fantastic way to conclude your journey across all 9 movies. And hey, they also break it up with an awesome BB boss fight. It's really cute, really entertaining, you're gonna love it. Anakin Skywalker.
If you're not with me, then you're my enemy!
In Skywalker Saga, the entire prequel trilogy pokes fun at Anakin's eventual turn to the dark side, between the childish behavior, inconvenient color changes in his lightsaber, and ridiculous nightmares. But when it came time for Master Kenobi to duel with his former Padawan, TT Games knew where to hit us hard. While there are a few jokes to lighten things up, this lengthy boss fight manages to capture that somber feeling we felt watching the movie. Even C-3PO and R2-D2's presence made it more grueling to watch than it needed to be. Of course, it all wraps up with a perfect high ground joke to lift the mood back up. Overall, this was our absolute favorite boss fight out of all of the ones in Skywalker Saga. And if you liked Revenge of the Sith, you're gonna love it here too.
Check out these other great clips from MojoPlays, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.